everybody, it's me Beth, and I just wanted to talk today about the ending to Bendy and the Ink Machine, and my thoughts on that, and my thoughts on the final Smash Direct that came out this past week. So, spoilers for Bendy and the Ink Machine, spoilers for that Smash Direct, so on and so forth. Overall, I was kind of disappointed with the 5th chapter and that wrap-up. As it turns out, it's all just a story that Joey tells someone, possibly a little kid. Except it's not somewhat, we don't really know. It's kind of pulling one of those Five Nights at Freddy's where nobody really knows what the ending is because it's so up in the air and ambiguous. Because after you defeat the giant inky arm day Bendy, you go through and you find yourself in a more realistic house and you see Joey, and Joey's like, "You're early, I didn't expect you to show up so soon. Gosh, you should have pushed harder." And then you hear a little girl going, a little child's voice going, Uncle Joey, tell me another one. And people are kind of speculating that chapters 1 through 4 kind of, 4 or 5 kind of are just Joey's story, and this Henry has to be stuck replaying it because Joey's refusing to accept responsibility, ? And for me, that's just kind of really lackluster. I don't want to say it's half-assed or it's not impressive, because it's a lot of work to make a video game, and I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that the ending itself just kind of makes it kind of. And to be fair, I really do not like games where it's all just a dream and it's all just a story that somebody made up. And I don't like those. It was all just the coma theory. There's certain exceptions. Actually, there's just one exception, and that's American McGee's Alice, but that one kind of solves the problem that I have with the coma theory, dream theory ones, in which, even though it is technically her dream coma, there's consequences for Alice whether she succeeds or doesn't. Because if she succeeds, she becomes sane. If she doesn't succeed, she's stuck in a Victorian-era asylum, which is never fun. And Bendy and the Ink Machine, it just kind of feels, that ending kind of gives us a, so why did we go through everything? Why did we get attached to Boris when it didn't matter that he got kidnapped and turned into a monster? Because that was his role in the story. That's all that happens. Why should we care about these lost ones who are crying? Why should we continue moving forward through the story other than to complete the game? And that's pretty much, at least to me, it feels kind of like that. It's like, there's no consequences whether you lose or you win. Where it's just kind of like, okay, the story, it doesn't really feel like what we had to go through in the previous chapters made that ending work. That ending kind of feels lackluster in compared to what we had to go through, because we had to fight monsters, we had to solve puzzles, we became attached to the characters, and we wanted to know about who these characters were before they were corrupted by the ink. We wanted to know why Henry and Joey didn't come to, why they weren't friends anymore. We wanted to know what happened in these 30 years, and then it's just kind of like, Wally went to Florida. Tom and Allison got together. Okay. That's pretty much it. Susie might be actually dead. Grant might actually be dead. But other than that, I mean, and to me it feels like the previous chapters and the previous trailers didn't at all lead up to this ending. like, like, other than the fact that Henry survived basically everything, falling from great heights and stuff like that, and maybe his lackluster attitude and like, oh, okay, that was weird. But even then, it's kind of like, none of the chapters and trailers really set up and gave you the illusion that this is just a story being made up. This is just a story. This actually kind of felt like this almost pseudo Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of world where tunes and people coexisted, and you had to kind of figure out what was going on. You know, Joey summoned Satan to bring his cartoons to life, and he didn't think of the consequences, and now the consequences are happening, and you're stuck as Henry trying to figure out what he's doing and stuff. But instead it's like, no, it's just a story. It's just the story. Henry's the hero. He saves everybody. Except he doesn't. Because he just throws a reel and is like, the end! Da-da-da-da-da-da-da! And we still don't know who Linda is. Linda might be Henry's daughter. Linda might be Henry's wife. Linda might be Joey's daughter. We have no idea. There's still questions on what's Lacey. Is she dead? I mean, we see her coffin with the magic mirror thingy. And I mean, we know Susie and we know Birdie's also in the coffins, and they have physical forms. So what's Lacey and Grant doing? Are they just kind of chilling out as one of the random lost ones? Is Lacey Sammy? Is she kind of going sheepy, time for sheep? Thinking she's... Well, now that I think about it, the prophet never mentions that his name is Sammy, but still. There's a lot more unanswered questions than there were answers. At least to me. And it kind of feels almost as if it kind of couldn't help but have that with the episodic release, because the waits in between the chapters kind of get people's expectations up, excited, and all that other stuff. But at the same time, it's still, there really was no evidence that said, hey, this is all just a dream made up by Joey, story made up by Joey. Ta-da! Which, even if this is just a story, he's telling this to what we can assume to be a 7 to 8 year old, so mildly warped child. 7 or 8 year old or younger, very warped child. Joey probably is that grandpa who lets you play with the dangerous stuff. But anyways, so those are just kind of my feelings. Would I have preferred to have an ending where Henry gets murdered or sacrificed to the machine? Not necessarily, but it still feels like we should have had, it still feels like there should have been an oomph ending compared to all the stuff we had to go through. At least some closure regarding that. And it feels weird knocking it, because I know the Meatly and the Kindly Beast and everybody who worked on the games did a really good job, and they did really hard and stuff like that, but it's also kind of like, really? Have you not learned from Five Nights at Freddy's? People get really crazy about wanting answers. You don't just leave a game with more questions than answers. That's not good. I don't know. But that also ties into my thoughts on the Smash Direct, which the new Fighter Ken from Street Fighter, cool. Incineroar, that was cool. I did like at the end trailer for Incineroar, there's the villager, Bowser Jr., and King K. Rool ready to get boxing, and Incineroar's just like, really, why do I have to put up with this? I was just told I was gonna fight Ken. Just that total cat schmuck face, which I'm getting from the bed behind the laundry basket from my own cat, so I'm well aware of that. I find Spirit Mode to be a really almost kind of lackluster replacement to the trophies, because it's like, yay, he gets power. Oh, okay. It just doesn't really feel like as oomph as I'd expect. As kind of feels like, I mean, it's kind of cool that, you know, these give you power-ups to a certain extent, collect them all, beast mode your character and whatnot, but it also kind of feels like, yay, stuff to do. Woo. Small stuff to do. One thing that I'm irked about, but not to the extent of like grrr rage stuff, is the fact that Sakurai did confirm that, in the world of Super Smash Brothers, they're just toys. But in imagination, they fight because reasons. And it's kind of like, wow, no offense, but your imagination's pretty boring. Yeah. I mean, okay, so technically, it's a fancy way of saying Super Smash Bros. Is not canon to any of the other Nintendo games. Not like we thought it was in the first place. But at the same time, it's like, so we're not going to get fun interactions between Mega Man and Sonic, Sonic and Mario, Samus and Snake. We're not going to get a fun little conversation between Pit Mega Man and Simon Belmont in some reference to the Captain N series. We're not going to get the Mario and Sonic, Sonic making a snide comment about beating him for the next game, beating him at the next Olympics. We're not going to get a little moment between Pit and Snake where they're pretty much shattering the fourth wall because of the way the games are played out. So it's just kind of my initial thoughts is kind of like it's almost Toy Story, but it's not as endearing and breaking your heart and pulling you in and wanting you to see this be amazing characters. Toy Story. I don't want to say bootleg Toy Story, but like a Toy Story light. Where it's like, yeah, they're still toys, and stuff like that. I mean, it's a fighting game. The first priority should be the fact it's a fighting game. And the story shouldn't be the main thing, I guess. But it's kind of like, you did do a really cool idea with the Subspace Emissary, which was pretty fun, pretty cool, people liked that idea. And then people liked the idea, they didn't particularly like the execution of it, but, now you have Ultimate, you can expand, you can learn more, you can do it! Except you're not. I mean, Spirit World's kinda, but not really. And it's also kind of still rubbing me the wrong way that the guys who were doing that whole thing when Smash Brothers Brawl came out, and they were making the fourth game, and they were like, oh no, we're not going to do a storyline or cutscenes anymore because it goes on the internet, and people don't want to buy the games if they see it on the internet. Yeah, old news, but it was still one of those situations where it's like, really? Really? Kind of rubs you the wrong way. I don't know. We'll have to see what the games come out and see how that plays out and see if it lives up to the expectations we all kind of have. Which I guess is kind of an interesting problem that I've seen, because it's like there's such big expectations on like Bendy and the Ink Machine, and then it didn't quite live up to what everybody was expecting, so, well, at least to me it wasn't what I was expecting and wasn't living up to what I wanted it to be, and so it kind of went and Smash, it's hyping itself up to be this cool, awesome, everybody's coming together, and it's kind of like kind of situation. And also Kirby's always been the main star of Super Smash Brothers, which kind of makes sense because Kirby is Sakurai's baby. Sakurai made and directed and, has control over Smash, so it would make sense that Kirby is the star, but whatever. I do also kind of feel a little bit that Ultimate is kind of, it's the bare minimum game so we can sell you all the DLC. It's like, oh, the DLC is here. Buy it. You know you want it. You want this, you know, you get the bare minimum of the game. And then, but the real thing is that we want you to get the DLC. I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain it, but it's in that kind of situation that a bunch of AAA game industries, those people got in trouble because they were doing the bare minimum, like taking major pieces out of the game and selling it as DLC, and you couldn't function the game, which I'm assuming, knock on wood, somewhere. Oh, there we go. Knock on wood that it actually ends up not being the case, and it's a full game, and you don't need the DLC whatsoever, unless you have a character. They have a character that you really want. I also think that PD Piranha being in, the Piranha Plant being in Smash proves something very important to all of us, in which that Waluigi, had he been in Smash, would have broken the game beyond recognition. So that is the case. But those were just my thoughts and opinions. Please feel free to leave your own thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. If there's any other topics you'd like me to talk about. What did you think of the Bendy and the Ink Machine game? What would have you changed? And stuff, and another cat back there. Just let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, guys.